Today we're cooking my best friend. With my best friend. Meet Stripes, my emotional support and partner in crime. Before anyone freaks out, no, I'm not cooking Stripes. He's my grass-fed guru, my hooved homie. So, Stripes had to leave, some guided hoof meditation thing, but he left this steak for me. Thoughtful guy. Sear it fast, seal in the soul. That's what he always said, probably. He always said he wanted to leave a flavorful legacy. I just didn't think he meant literally. He always said I'd learn to season with emotion. Today, I get it. All right, let's see how the steak tastes.
Nothing like a good bit of
juicy, smoky
bit of
perfectly cooked.
Yeah,
that's a 10 out of 10.
That's awesome. Well, I have to apologize, everybody. It's a little late today. I had got my new computer came in today. Got it all, was hooking it all up and everything, and the screen kept going black. It kept having issues. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to return it, I guess. It just kept shutting off, and it would. I don't know. Very upsetting. Very upsetting that I'm gonna have to make a trip to go to the store to return a computer that was brand new because something's wrong with it. I think it's I actually, believe it or not, I think it's the friggin' video card's fucked up. It was doing the same type of shit that it was doing when I tried to put a new video card into my computer, where it just kept shutting off. So, yeah, before my birthday, no less. Let's see who's here. Man, we got a lot of people here today. Oh, look at this. Hello, Barbie World. Choosy, what's up? G Sharkman, Costa Rica, what's up? Lynn, Phil Kyans, what's up, man? Mother of Papillon, Catherine K, Doxy Mom. Phil Coggins. Hey, what's up, Derek? Flexed, what's up? None of your business. How you doing? Hey, Gilly, how you doing? Mark, what's up? Saxon, how you doing? Steve Hilliard, what's up, my man? John Mosley, what's going on? And ga. So, I don't know. I did my best I could to get hey, no Jabsky, what's up? To get a show together today. It's going to be what it's going to be. And that's what it is. That's about all I can say about that. This is the first story of the night. We're going to catch up. I know we talked about this raid on John Bolton's house last night, but this is some more people talking about it, some more stuff about it, so I figured we would go through it. Oh, thank you, Catherine K. I'm going to do the best I can. No birthday today, Kat. It's not my birthday. I don't know. The computer was supposed to come on my birthday, but it came today, and then it don't work. It don't work, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. No. So we'll see. I'm going to have to bring... Hey, Terry, what's going on? So, FBI raids John Bolton's house. Federal agents hit John Bolton's home and office over classified documents. A 7 a.m. raid. This is the same Bolton who trashed Trump on classified docs, the same one whose memoir contained classified information. Turns out the rejection is real. Oh, let's see what we got.
President Trump offered this reaction as news of the raids on his former national security advisor spread. Take a look.
Have you been briefed on the FBI raid on John Bolton?
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister.
I tell Pam and I tell the group. I don't want to know about it. Just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way.
Here with reaction, Fox News contributor and former FBI special agent Nicole Parker and Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Thank you both for joining us this evening. I want to start with you, Nicole. Could you begin by kind of walking us through the process by which FBI agents obtain a search warrant to go into John Bolton's house this morning?
Absolutely. First of all, there has to, there's something that the FBI has that would lead them to believe that a crime may have been committed. And again, they take all of the evidence that they have, and the FBI agent assigned to the investigation will gather that. They'll come up with an affidavit, a probable cause statement. They work with the federal prosecutor or the AUSA, and they take all of that information and they go before a magistrate judge. And then the magistrate judge reviews the affidavit, and the FBI agent raises their right hand under oath. They take an oath. They swear that everything in there is true to the best of their knowledge. And then the judge reviews the information, and they determine whether or not they believe that there's probable cause that this information is correct and that a crime was committed, potentially, and that the information that the FBI is requesting to search is something that should be searched. And they identify what items will be searched.
Why it wouldn't let me turn it back to
found, as well as the
speed.
locations to be searched. And so it's a very thorough and delicate process that is taken very seriously.
Greg, it's kind of interesting to listen to all of the caterwauling from the very same people over the past 12 hours that were cheering the raid at Mar-a-Lago just a few years ago.
Yeah, obviously the irony should be lost on nobody. These are potentially serious charges if they are as described. I mean, given that Bolton was national security advisor and privy to a stream of classified material on a daily basis, seems to me there are three legal possibilities. He might have illegally removed and stored national defense documents or classified intel in an unsecured place, like a home or office. Number two, he may have leaked to someone classified information, or his controversial book back in 2020 may have contained classified material, even though he said it did not. So, the FBI was searching for incriminating or corroborating documents, such as, hard copies, notes, communications, electronic records. But look, it was always foolhardy for Bolton to write this tell-all book. And when the government tried to stop him, a federal judge admonished Bolton to his face, saying, "You are gambling with national security, you're causing potential irreparable harm," and sternly warned him, "You could be criminally prosecuted." Well, Bolton didn't care. He went ahead with a book, which seems to me, as a lawyer, a reckless risk.
So, Nicole, tell us about, you did such a good job of explaining how the agents got to where they were this morning. What can we expect going forward? We will eventually see a lot of the information, like a list of things that the FBI obtained here. That may be a matter of weeks. Explain all of that to us.
Okay, so after they're done executing the search warrant and they seize the items that they're going to take, they leave behind what is called an FD-597, and that's a property receipt form, and it literally lists every single item that the agents took. They sign off on that. They leave it at Bolton's home and his office, wherever they search, along with a copy of the warrant. And that is up to him if he would like to share that with the public, or his attorney would like to share that with the public. But don't expect the FBI to be sharing that information. They keep their information and investigations confidential. Right. And one thing, there's a few things I'd like to note real quick, Charlie. People keep trying to compare this to the raid at Mar-a-Lago and other things that have happened in the past. Let me just tell you some of the differences. This morning, I didn't see any notification to CNN in advance or Fox News in advance showing up to the raid as we saw at Roger Stone's home. I did not see that, there was a throng of SWAT agents there and the SWAT team there. I did not see that. I did not see that there were documents that were staged on the floor with classified document covers and then pictures taken and leaked to the media. I did not see that. Under this FBI, under Kash Patel, they are doing things with the utmost professionalism. This is not a political thing. This is actually gathering evidence and presenting it as it should be. And in the past administration and other FBIs, we have seen where it does appear to be quite political. Right. I don't know about you, but I didn't see that today.
Yeah, I'm so glad you made those very important points. Greg, along those lines, there's no doubt that there was an entire deep state that was pitted against the former president when this happened to him. Do you feel confident that John Bolton's rights will be protected in this process?
Oh, I absolutely think so. I mean, I do have confidence in Pam Bondi to ensure that this is being done legally and by the book. Don't forget, Charlie, that the FBI and the DOJ were already investigating Bolton back in 2020, but it was apparently then scuttled by Biden's Department of Justice. So the case may simply be a resurrection, and today's raid was the next step. They may.
Yeah, so that's the raid, and the raid took place at 7 a.m. Friday morning at Bolton's Bethesda home and his D.C. office. Agents acted on a probe alleging Bolton sent classified documents from a private email server while in the White House. I don't think he would send them from a private. I think he sent them to a private email server. I think he sent them to his wife and his daughter to try and keep them for he can use them for other stuff. You know, Kash Patel ordered the raid. No one's above the law. FBI agents on mission. FBI Director Dan Bongino said public corruption will not be tolerated. Big change from the days when all these people were untouchable. Save Latina booty. Oh, big booty Latinas. We say big booty Latinas. Trump's reaction is brutal. I'm not a fan. He's a real lowlife, not a smart guy, very unpatriotic. And Bolton once claimed to be the adult in the room like the rest of the Uniparty establishment. He thought he was above the law. He's not. He's not above the law. Hey, Pat. JD, what's up? The irony is rich. In 2022, Bolton blasted Trump over classified documents after the raid on Mar-a-Lago. It's later determined there was no constitutional basis for the Trump raid. Now Bolton himself is under investigation for leaking classified intel. Hello, Pat. Hello, JD. Hello, Mother. Hello, Jim. Sources tell me that this isn't just the first of many. The number of Biden-Obama officials known to have misused classified information is off the charts. And that's before we even get to the grand conspiracy investigation of the Russian gate fraud. So I just hope that they're not going to waste all their time and blow their wad, as they say it, to chase down people over this stuff when they need to be going after the people who tried to put them in prison. I mean, I don't know. Bolton's a particular pernicious warmonger, a saboteur of the first Trump administration, and just an all-around obnoxious individual. His comeuppance is highly welcome. Time to get acquainted with the joys of busting rocks there, my friend. I wanted to pull this one up too. Canada's refusal to cooperate with the DEA on fentanyl super lab investigation fueled the cross-border tariffs. A lot of people didn't know what caused the big kerfuffle that blew up between Trump and Canada, and it was because they discovered this super lab in Canada making fentanyl, and Canada was like, "What? We're not. No. What? You want to do what? You want to come and investigate? No, you can't do that." The DEA's explosive findings on the Canadian RCMP's stonewalling the Falkland Superlab investigation exposed a critical failure of cross-border accountability. While Ottawa bureaucrats dragged their feet for years, Chinese-linked cartels pumped 95 million lethal fentanyl doses into North American communities from British Columbia. This isn't just bureaucratic inertia, it's complicity through inaction. The Trump administration's 35% tariffs on Canada should be framed as a necessary economic warfare against a neighbor, enabling chemical warfare against American citizens. The RCMP's refusal to share intelligence or pursue Valerian Labs Iranian Canadian operatives until after U.S. sanctions proves globalist priorities overrule public safety. With 89 firearms and half a ton of narcotics seized at one lab, Canada's border integrity failures demand drastic measures. Tariffs are just the opening salvo. Well, that's cool, right? And we got this from Canada's Canada's refusal to cooperate with the DEAs on fentanyl superlab fueled cross-border tariffs. Man, wrong. I'm not feeling well. President Trump's new hemispheric defense strategy stretching across North, Central, and South America now includes the deployment of 4,000 troops and 3 guided missile destroyers positioned in international waters off Venezuela as part of a broader campaign to dismantle and control command and control hubs of narco-terrorists and purge Chinese-linked drug and money laundering networks from the region. Just dropped in to see what the condition of your condition was in. I don't know. Last week, the Pentagon positioned 3 Aegis guided missile destroyers, the USS Gravely, the USS Jason Dunham, and the USS Samson, directly off the coast of Venezuela as new force posturing takes hold in the region. But the Pentagon's crosshairs focus on narco-terrorists fueling America's death drug crisis that claims 1,000 lives per year. Hey, good evening. How you doing? Look at that. That's bad. Cocaine. Simultaneously, attention turns to Canada. Like Mexico and other surrounding countries, remains a very weak partner in the region as the Trump administration advances its hemispheric defense strategy to clean up the Americas ahead of the 2030s. Trump's cleanup of the Western Hemisphere is almost comparable to his micro efforts to restore law and order in the crime-ridden Washington, D.C. And soon, in many other cities nationwide, the left ruins by failure. What the fuck? Trump's cleanup of the Western Hemisphere is almost comparable to his micro efforts to restore law and order in crime-ridden Washington, D.C., and soon, in many other cities nationwide, left in ruins by failed Democratic leadership that allowed violent crime and open-air drug markets to flourish. Sam Cooper has uncovered in recent years that North America's fentanyl crisis is not just a drug death crisis wiping out military-aged men and women by the hundreds of thousands. It's also a sprawling international money laundering machine run through Chinese triads, Mexican cartels, and Canadian financial networks in a massive transnational crime web that fuels the crisis. Some view this operation to subvert Washington as Chinese irregular warfare. I have something to pull up on that. Cooper's work, as we've covered in recent years, spans Chinese narcos using laundering networks via TD Bank and other Canadian financial institutions to Breaking Bad style super labs in Canada and all things China subverting the Americas. Cooper's latest report focused on how Canada's federal police, the RCMP, refused to cooperate with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration in 2022 on a probe into the British Columbia's fentanyl superlab tied to Chinese precursor shipments. It was only after the U.S. Treasury sanctioned Iranian-Canadian businessman Bahman Tijabalakakabak and his Health Canada licensed Valerian Labs that the RCMP belatedly launched its own investigation without sharing critical information with the U.S. government. The superlab in Falkland, British Columbia, was eventually raided and dismantled, with investigations suggesting the lab was able to produce drugs on an industrial scale. 54 kilograms of fentanyl, 390 kilograms of meth, and 35 kilograms of cocaine, and 15 kilograms of MDMA. Wow, that's a party. 15 kilos of MDMA. That's what I call a good time. Last year, Derek Maltz, acting DEA administrator, commented on the botched RCMP investigation, blasting them. And the way they conducted business was disgusting, honestly. We can't have that kind of activity when our countries are being attacked at levels we've never seen before. I don't know. Not even close, as they say. Meanwhile, the investigation into the Falkland raid was a dark reality. Chinese underground bankers in Vancouver and Toronto move hundreds of millions through Canadian and U.S. banks, laundering cartel money and financing fentanyl labs. None of this is new, but what is, in the era of Trump, will be dismantled. The flow of fentanyl from China to the United States. Fentanyl precursors are shipped from China into the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Once the North American drug cartels use precursor chemicals to manufacture finished fentanyl for distribution. Why, buddy? What the fuck is going on? Still no on the P.O. box. Yeah, I feel flush. Like, I don't know what's going on, and I shouldn't be yawning and tired because, I mean, I didn't stay up late last night, really, per se. I was in bed by 4, I think, and then I didn't get up until 10. So, I mean, that's like 6 hours. I shouldn't be this yawny, but I feel like I'm getting a fever almost. I'm flush, like flush. Fast forward today, Otto has learned the hard way that the tariff war with Trump, following years of inaction and botched investigations into fentanyl super labs in his country that fuel America's drug crisis. Here's an expert from Cooper's latest. Well, I'm on the Red Bull. It's just not doing anything. Oh, man. What is going on? Canada's federal police refused to investigate and cooperate with the DEA on the fentanyl super lab. According to the senior U.S. officials, more than a year later, only after the Treasury sanctioned a Canadian businessman, did we already read this? Yeah, honestly, I don't know how long I'm going to be. Yeah. I don't even know how long I'm going to be able to go. I'm not feeling well at all. Multiple interviews with senior officials. I don't know. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. The Bureau confirmed devastating details of the super. I'm sorry, everybody. This is bad. This is brutal. We're gonna go to a different story. Maybe this will help. Immigrant detentions soar 50% to a record under the Trump administration. Look at that, 50% increase. That's a lot. It should be like a 400% increase. Yes, me. That's my opinion. Calling an illegal alien an undocumented immigrant is like calling a meth dealer an undocumented pharmacist. You down with CCP? Yeah, you know me. Immigrant detentions soar 50% to a record under Trump. The number of people in immigration detention has soared by more than 50% since President Trump took office. And that doesn't include the thousands more detainees who aren't in administration's official count. Yeah, I am stressed out. It's very aggravating about the computer. And I spent hours trying to transfer all my stuff to the new computer, doing all the stuff. And then it just started just like black screening and shutting off. And what's going on? So I'm like resetting it and everything. And I don't know. Take a night off for you. Maybe I should. Maybe I should take the night off. Let me get through this story here. It doesn't include, why it matters. No, don't give any money. Don't give any money tonight. I got to take that goal down. Rant about the computer and get it off your chest. I'd love to. It's very, yeah. DeSantis is not closing Alexandria Alcatraz, and we're opening 2 facilities. Stop with the Red Bull. Fatigue is not the issue. You have emergency or zinc. Don't forget you had an itchy nose last night. Look, you look super flushed, and Red Bull's not going to help. I know. I feel flushed. I feel hot. Like I feel hot. Like I'm getting a fever. I wish I had something to play. I would play something real quick and go look for some zinc. No, it's not the solar foot, Dan. Dan, you know, I got my new computer came in, Dan, and uh, zinc and quercetin if you have it. All right. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to play a short video. I'm going to run and look for something to take that'll make me feel better. Stuff that happened in Michigan in 2019, 2020 before the election with the Whitmer kidnapping plot. That there was a lot of entrapment and 11 undercovers or informants with 4 other guys. A bunch of people got acquitted for entrapment reasons, and then I think 2 guys got convicted. Like 2 guys got retried, and then they had to. And then whatever happened, the judge prevented them from arguing that they were entrapped, and so they got convicted. So there's an investigation now from the U.S. Department of Justice into that to see if maybe shenanigans were at play and that these guys should get pardons or something. So, an email seeking comment from Whitmer's office was immediately returned Friday. She got nothing to say because she knows she was complicit. So you got kudos to Brenda Morrell and Martin for speaking up for innocent man. So here's it is. This is out of the Detroit News. Let's see. The U.S. Department of Justice pardon lawyer pledges hard look at plot to kidnap Michigan governor. I hope somebody does. It seems like those guys, like the one guy seemed like borderline mentally deficient. Like he, like they took advantage of him because he didn't know, it happens a lot. It happens actually to a lot. The FBI does it a lot to Muslims that, trick them, do stuff. They go and basically a guy that was never going to do anything and they coax them into doing something. And then they end up saying they start up this whole thing and then they say, we stopped a terrorist attack when it would have never been a terrorist attack if you didn't start getting these people riled up, going into mosques and stuff and doing it. So it's not just they do it. This happens. Michiganer here, it's tough here in the People's Republic of Michigan. Yeah, I was kind of shocked, Patrick 7 too. Like not to go off on a tangent. That case of the kid who's Crumbly, whose parents got charged for him doing that thing at the school. I don't understand what the parent. I don't understand. Really what happened. They kind of let it go up to the Court of Appeals in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Supreme Court. They kind of just said, well, let's let this play out and see how it goes, and then we'll decide later. Let's just say the FBI was involved in the kidnapping plot, was also involved in some really weird stuff, including extracurricular swinger parties, spousal abuse on January 6th. Yeah, that guy, right, was did some weird stuff. And then the guy that was in charge of this, if I'm not mistaken, pretty sure, also went and became in charge of all the stuff on January 6th, that whole thing. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Now, let's see what this story says here. The U.S. Department of Justice new pardon attorney said he is going to take a hard look at two men who are serving long prison terms for leading a conspiracy to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. On the pardon front, we can't leave these guys behind, Ed Martin Jr. said this week on the Brianna Morellis show. In my opinion, they are all victims, just like January 6th, Martin said, referring to the 1,500 people pardoned by President Donald Trump for crimes related to January 6th. Now, there was some people, I would say, on January 6th that should have got punished for doing certain things. Anybody who broke the doors down or broke the windows down, if those people happen to have been federal agents or informants, because we know there was a report I saw that they know that informants or whatever you want to call undercovers went into the Capitol and they're never prosecuted and did stuff now. Were they the ones participating in the some of the violence and stuff, egging it on? Like, what did that guy whisper in that guy's ear right before they started attacking the barrier? I mean, what was said there? I don't know. We're never going to know. But just seems like we in this country we used to lean in the direction of if there's any question, like if it's like, wait a minute, this could have been the government, screwing around here, messing around, then we would say, nope, that's it, game over, no, case dismissed. But now it seems like we've gotten to the point where they're gonna try and put you in jail, and they're gonna do what they can, just like with this whole Karen Reed case, where it seems weird. Like, I don't see it. I don't see how they're coming. Anybody who's ever seen someone hit by seen someone get hit by a car, generally they get bruises and stuff on them. Like I didn't. And you guys will realize I kind of go off on tangents sometimes. I start talking about stuff and my mind wanders and I say things. So if you yell at me in the chat and say get back on track, and I will. But the arrest of Barry Croft Jr. and Adam Fox. Now I think it's the Adam Fox guy, if I'm not mistaken, seems a little possibly slow. I don't want to slander him anyway, but he just seems like maybe he's not a 140 IQ or anything. Another anti-government extremist rocked the home stretch of the 2020 presidential election. Authorities said the cabal wanted to grab Whitmer, a Democrat, at her vacation home and start a civil war. Croft 49 and Fox 42 were portrayed as leaders of the scheme. I don't think the one guy was like sitting in his basement, his mom's basement, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Steve Hiller, that's my point. Like Crumley case, I just didn't understand and how the both parents got convicted, for the same stuff. Like they charged a kid as an adult. So charge a kid as an adult. How are his parents responsible? There's generally speaking, there's this in criminal law. There's like you can't be held responsible for negligence if there's an intervening event that happens that like someone's criminal act. Like if the kid would have done something and accidentally harmed people, I could see the parents get for negligence but he purposely did it, so it's an act. And I don't understand how you could say that they were negligent by someone else committing a crime. It's kind of and something everyone should pay attention to this country. It's kind of what they're trying to do and what they want to do. That's why a lot of states are trying to push this mandatory insurance for people that own guns. To own guns, or if you own guns, you have to have insurance to say that if somebody steals your guns and shoots somebody with it, that you insurance to cover that. That's mind blowing. It's just another way that they want to try and restrict your rights and put more impediments in way for people that are that actually would really need to have the right to defend themselves, that live in bad neighborhoods. Generally speaking, people in rough neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods, high crime neighborhoods, they're low income people, so they don't have a ton of money to spend on things. So all these fees and requirements, a lot of places like California have extremely crazy prices to get a carry permit. I think it's $1,500 in either San Francisco County or LA County or something like that. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Like if you're a person making minimum wage, how could you afford that? How could you possibly afford that? Let's get. Was I supposed to crush it and snort it? Because I just swallowed it. I hope I did the right thing. Anyway, do I sound all right tonight? Everything sound good? Mm-hmm. Wow. Man, sorry. What a rough night. A record 60,000 immigrants are now officially in long-term detention, according to the latest government data. Historic jump from the 39,000 or so who were behind bars at the end of the Biden administration. It's $500 a year. It's a suppository? Oh, man. I did it wrong then. $500 a year for a CCW. San Bernardino. That sucks. Oh. The catch, the Department of Homeland Security tally does not include detainees in new facilities such as the Florida's now infamous Alligator Alcatraz. Spaces designed as short-term holding rooms and military bases. I think I'm getting sick. I think that's what it is. The numbers continue to balloon as Trump's aggressive immigration crackdown escalates in cities nationwide and as DHS inks more deals to detain immigrants ahead of trying to deport them. Well, we wouldn't have that many in detention if they would just let us deport them. The 60,000 immigrants now in detention tops previously peaks set this year and in 2019 during Trump's first term. 60,000 immigrants now in detention top previous peaks set this year and in 2019 during Trump's first term. Okay, now I get it. No, I don't have any airborne or emergency. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find any. The previous record was in June when the average daily population in detention was 57,861 immigrants, according to immigration data collected by the Nonpartisan Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse, TREC. Ivermectin. I wish I had some ivermectin. I would take it. Before that, the record reported by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is part of DHS, was 55,654. Yeah, I'm the only adult in the home right now. The official counts don't tell the whole number. You don't know where the membership comes of? I thank you. I need a soft spot to land. Drink some whiskey? Maybe. Talking about it. Rumble? Did somebody do something in Rumble? Well, Tika, I think somebody gifted that membership, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what happened. It's evident that the numbers being published by ICE about people held in long-term residential facilities is severely undercounting the number of people who are in ICE custody at any given moment, said Amelia Dagan, staff attorney at the Amica Center for Immigrant Rights. Zoom out. Most of the immigrants held at the state-run Alligator Alcatraz in Ochahope, Florida, Ochapi, Florida, don't appear in ICE's detention documents, which are updated roughly bi-monthly for congressional oversight. About 700 people were there after it opened in July, according to news reports. A federal judge ruled Thursday that the Everglades facility no longer can accept migrants and should close. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis told Fox News he plans to appeal the decision, which followed activist claims that the facility's environmental impacts weren't studied properly. So to have some whiskey warmed with hot water and lemon and honey, I could try that. DHS is charging forward with plans for more state-run facilities nationwide. Military bases are also being used to detain illegal aliens as administration pushes for more bed space. Fort Bliss, El Paso, Texas, for example, has announced to soon take custody of 1,000 illegal aliens. Detainees held at Bliss and other military installations aren't included in DHS's detention records. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons told Congress in May that Fort Bliss was holding 69 people. The Defense Department official referred to questions about detainee numbers to DHS, but said the department is providing support for temporary detention space at Fort Bliss and Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The official said Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has approved facilities in Indiana and New Jersey that aren't open yet. Migrants are being detained in temporary holding rooms in field offices and local and federal buildings across the country for days or weeks at a time. They're also excluded from the detention count. I feel horrible. This is a shitty show. I wouldn't want to even be watching. I'm doing a terrible job. And analysis of detention populations by prison policy initiatives estimate that 650 detainees were in such holding facilities. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna call it quits. I'm something's wrong. I'm sick, and I'm like out of it, and I'm not seeing things right. Well, I apologize, and I think I'm running a fever. I actually do. Anyway, I'll try again for tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If not, I'll see you Monday. Thanks. Sorry about that.